How's it going, guys? It's 2Pi. I am back here with a new series, yeah. I'm really good at keeping up with those. That's going to be called Watchdog Explained. At least it's going to be called that right now. Maybe I'll think of something more creative after I publish the video. But, yeah, basically what I'm going to be doing in this series is trying to explain, dissect, look at Watchdog from different angles, the infamous Hypixel anti-cheat, or should I say cheat detection system. Well, we'll probably have a different video on why that's a little bit strange, but that's for the future. Today I'm going to be talking about, as you might have noticed from the title of this video, does Watchdog false ban? That is the question that everybody's asking right now. It's been a hotly debated topic for a long time, and the general consensus for this topic is, yeah, it does false ban, because my favorite YouTuber got banned, and I know they don't cheat, because they told me they love my subscribers. They said it. They said, I love you. They love me, and I know they wouldn't break that trust, that bond that we share between YouTuber and YouTubee. Basically, the general consensus with Watchdog is, yeah, it false bans, and I have a counterpoint, or multiple counterpoints, to the fact that it false bans. I want to say, no, it doesn't false ban, or at least not to the degree that people think it does. So, let's discuss that. All right. Basically, Minecraft is badly coded. It's a mess, and the communication between the client and the server is god awful for detecting any sort of cheat, because there's so many irregularities. There's so many things that can go wrong between that. If there's lag, completely screws everything up. If you take normal knockback, you're fine, right? But if you start lagging, your knockback goes crazy. And there's so many things. That's just one example of how the client-server connection is crazily badly written. So, yeah, false bans happen because anti-cheat checks, which is what, kind of tells an anti-cheat if someone's cheating or not. If those checks go wrong, if they aren't perfect, if they don't account for every single irregularity in Minecraft, which is very, very hard to do, especially between the 4 different versions that Hypixel supports, 1 through 1.12. So to have an anti-cheat that's universally working, all those versions, all those irregularities, that's very hard to do. But Hypixel attempts to do this by having checks that are pretty lenient, to be honest. They want to make sure that people are 100% hacking before they ban them, because they have such a big player count that even if they start banning 100,000th of a person, that's still going to be banning a fair amount of people. And 100,000th is a very, very small number, but just the amount of size that Hypixel has, they cannot have any false bans, or it's going to start banning a fair amount of people. And, other servers have better anti-cheats. Let's just say better, just for the sake of time. Better anti-cheats than Watchdog that maybe false ban a little bit more because their checks are more in-depth, and they kind of look for the subtleties in client-server connection. So if you're looking for those subtleties are easy to kind of go wrong, if you know what I'm saying. That's a little bit confusing, I'm aware, but hopefully you get what I'm saying. The smaller the player counts, the less false bans you're going to get, just inherently. So, Hypixel has to be 100%. That's their goal with Watchdog, right? Besides the fact that they actually want to ban cheaters and all that. But, their goal is no false bans. And, how you prevent false bans from happening if you create a new check. You obviously can't check every single regularity in Minecraft when you create a new anti-cheat check, because that would be impossible. There's so many things that can go wrong. You need to test it on the active player base. And what they'll do is they'll just keep really, really extensive logs of everything that the anti-cheat notices to make sure that they can go back, and if they're not sure if someone was false banned or not, they can analyze these logs through human analyzation, and they can say, yeah, this is a false ban. because if you can recreate the packets or whatever the anti-cheat is checking for in vanilla Minecraft, then you know it's a false ban. You know it's possible. Basically what Hypixel has to be doing is making sure that when they keep these logs, they're able to tell if a person is hacking or not, solely based on these logs. Just from people who coded Watchdog, who know what they're doing, who know how to read the logs, right, and how to see if this is a false ban or not. And we're going to be taking a look at a few case studies of when Hypixel has been able to notice or decipher when someone got false banned or not. Number one case is a while back. I don't really have any evidence of this or like any screenshots, proof, that sort of thing, but a lot of people know what happened. A while ago, they tried to patch bhop in a pretty extensive way, and it did a great job of patching bhop, but there was one slight issue where it also banned a lot of people. It wasn't a crazy amount of people, but it was false banning a lot. And you could say that maybe these people were all closet cheaters, that somehow the bhop check also got... That doesn't make sense, to be honest, because bhop checks and other checks would be completely different. But just for the sake of an example, let's say that it could be catching actual cheaters as a side effect. But Hypixel was able to go into the logs they keep on Watchdog and see when their anti-cheat check was going wrong and banning these people. And they were able to roll back all the bans because they noticed that this is actually false banning people. And that's kind of broad because a lot of people got banned. A lot of people who obviously weren't bhopping got banned, so that was pretty clearly false banning. But they reverted that stuff. That was like a one-time scenario. It's happened a few other times, but that's just an example, right? But let's also look at a case with Invictable. All right, this is my boy. He sent me these screenshots of his ban appeal, and let's just read it. So this is from April 10th, 2016, and it says, I found that it made a mistake due to an edge case caused by a network issue that correlated with your client, which reacted in an irregular fashion. So this tells me, personally, that they are able to notice when the network is causing Watchdog to do weird things, right? Which is pretty impressive because the logs have to be built off the network, right? You're getting the logs from the same places Watchdog is getting its false bans in theory. So for the logs to be completely accurate, and for them to be able to notice that there was a network issue from these logs, that proves something to me, that they're keeping enough logs to notice when there's a false ban or not. You know, just looking at this one example, they were able to identify when it false banned and rolled back the bans. That doesn't mean that the false bans didn't happen. It's just that they are able to identify they are false and then prevent them in the future. That's the important part. It's not that false bans never happen on Hypixel. It's that they're able to revert them and they're able to not do it again. If it was truly false banning, then they wouldn't know that it was false banning. They wouldn't have proof that it was false banning. Let's take a look at another example. So this popular UHC player, Hannah, got banned a while ago, maybe a few weeks ago at this point. And Hypixel responded to them on Twitter and it did something that I noticed and was very interesting. They were extremely confident about the fact that they didn't false ban Hannah. Now, I'm not saying that Hannah hacks. I will get into why you can be banned without actually hacking a little bit later. But I'm not saying she hacks, but he was confident. He was extremely confident that Watchdog did not false ban from these logs that we pretty much have established can be accurate. And the fact that he was confident about this says a lot about how confident they are in their logs and their ability to not have false bans. They were able to look into the logs and see something that caused them to get banned, which was a legitimate way to get banned, according to them, and according to what we've established previously. So, I'm going to be reading a few of his tweets. Basically, what Hypixel said is, your MC client did something impossible packet-wise, so Watchdog did its job. Now, we can check which modification did that for you, but most of the time, people will say it's false ban and send us a bullshit list of mods. They are confident, Hypixel is confident, Do you realize how important that is? He is confident that his watchdog did a good job, that it didn't fall spam. For him to be publicly on Twitter, say he was wrong, say Watchdog didn't do its job, that would be terrible. The fact that they're so confident about this really says a lot to me. Says that it is doing something right. And this leads pretty nicely into my next point. Watchdog can ban you for things you aren't even aware are hacks. You can basically get banned for so many different things that send weird packets. So many mods do weird, terrible... Like, for example, the dab mod would get you Watchdog banned because it sent a packet to the server that was irregular. Like, you wouldn't know if you weren't into code, if you didn't, like, actually look into it, you wouldn't know why it was false banning you. You'd think it was a false ban. You'd assume it was. There's, like, Toggle Sneak that sends weird sneak packets and sprint packets to the server that aren't regular, so Watchdog would ban you, in theory. And you wouldn't really know why. You'd say that's a false ban. There's so many things that can be on your computer that are weird, so many mods that are fucked up and badly coded. Your mouse could just be double-clicking. You know, that's such a common thing that people don't realize. Like, if your mouse is double-clicking, you're going to be clicking 20 CPS, probably going to get banned for auto-clicking. That's not a surprise, right? There's so many people who truly believe they got false banned when there actually was a reason. It's just that Hypixel won't communicate that reason, because either maybe they don't know the actual specific mod or reason that it was, they just know it was something impossible, or maybe they don't want to tell because they think hacked client developers are going to bypass all their checks, which is already happening anyways, so not much point in hiding it from everybody else. Those are just a few of my arguments why I think, not that it doesn't false ban, but that they are able to identify when it false bans and revert those false bans. That's the important part. If they don't revert your false ban, well, then you're banned legitimately. That's my opinion on the matter. I think it does do its job because it needs to, because half the server would eventually get banned if it false banned that much. But anyways, my last point, my last little argument is people are always going to lie because it's Minecraft reputation, all those important things, right? Everybody cares about their online reputation. So important. So important. So don't trust anybody. It's kind of like my meme at the start of the video. Even if they're your favorite YouTuber and you love them to death and they think you'd never lie to them. That didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. It's always going to be Minecraft, and it's always going to be the internet, so people are always going to want to keep their reputation. And we're just going to have to live with that. So anyways, if you disagree with me, if you think my arguments are flawed, if you have a counterpoint to my counterpoints, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to know what you think. That's about it for me. I know this is a long video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys are interested in this and want to look forward to more Watchdog videos in the future. But for now, thanks for watching. See you guys.